Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be joining from. I am HR Funk, and this is my firing line, the NRA Annual Meeting 2024 edition. And this is the online firearm show that is completely driven by you, your comments, and your questions. And I have a ton of things to tell you about this evening, so I can't wait to get started. I hope some of you are here. I've had a little bit of trouble getting this stream up and running, and good. Looks like Ben Crane is here, so fantastic. I wasn't sure if anyone was here because normally I see people clicking in early, and I didn't see that this time around. So the counter now shows there are 7 of you here, so fantastic. And I have no idea what that little thumbs up is that just showed up there. So I don't normally do this on my iPad. I normally do it from my desktop computer at home. So a lot of times when I have it on the iPad, things are a little bit different. So this is going to be a little odd. But as I was saying, I have a ton of things to tell you about this evening. About the NRA annual meeting, it has been a whirlwind weekend. And I probably need to start this story at the beginning to give you an idea of what happened and how I ended up here and all of that. As I sit here, this is now Saturday night, the 18th. On Thursday, the 16th, as of midnight that night, I did not expect to be here. And at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, the 16th, I woke up because Private Chewy still does not have sufficient discipline to make it all night long without taking a head call. So I got up out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning to take him out. And while I was doing that, I had my iPhone and I just checked the email randomly. And there was a message from Olight. Now, I need to wind the clock back a little bit because I was one of the people, as some of you know who have seen the video already, who got an advanced edition of the O site to be able to review and then produce a video that could go live at the same time the product was launched. So I got this email from Olight that said they really wanted me to be at their launch event here in Dallas, which was yesterday at 4 o'clock. So that at the time I got that email, it was almost exactly 36 hours from the time that I got the email until I was supposed to be at the event. Basically a day and a half. And when I first got my first inclination, when I saw this at 4 o'clock in the morning on Thursday and I'm half awake, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, there is no way I am going to be able to be there by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon when it's 4 o'clock in the morning today. But after I got done taking Private Chewy out, he did all of his thing. I went back in and I sat down and I started looking at flight schedules. And as it turned out, there was a flight that I was able to catch Thursday afternoon that was supposed to leave at 6:55, I think. And it was supposed to be into Dallas at 9 o'clock Dallas time, which is an hour behind me. So 4-hour flight with a very brief layover in St. Louis. And I thought, that's doable, but I still didn't really know if I wanted to do this. So I talked to Miss Mimi and she gave me a nudge. You really ought to do this. You'll have a good time, this and that. So I thought, all right. I will make the effort to do this. So I scheduled the flight. I had a hotel room that was booked. And I took off in the Jeep at, I think, 3 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. So this is now 11 hours after I got this email and I'm on the road to Cleveland to the airport. Drove up there, parked the Jeep, caught the shuttle to the airport and walked in. And as I was riding the shuttle from the parking lot to the airport, I got a text message from the airline saying my flight was delayed and it was now not going to leave until it was supposed to leave, I guess it was supposed to leave at 6:05, and now it was not going to leave until 7:55. So almost 2-hour delay, an hour and 45 minutes, hour and 50 minutes, something like that delay, which meant that I was going to miss my connecting flight in St. Louis. Now I'm wondering what in the world is going to happen. How am I going to get there? But the first thing I had to do was go to the ticket counter and get new boarding passes. So I did that. As it turned out, there was another connecting flight in St. Louis that I was able to catch. So I ended up hanging out at the Cleveland airport, which is always such a great time, and flying out more or less on time, 7:55, 8 o'clock, something like that. When I got to St. Louis, I basically had time to walk from the gate where I got off the airplane to the gate where I was getting on the airplane, got right back on, and then flew the rest of the way to Dallas. But by the time I got here and all that was done, it was after 11 o'clock. It was probably close to 11:30 when I landed in Dallas, which of course is 12:30 to me because I'm an hour ahead. Caught a cab, got back here to the hotel room, and fell into bed Thursday night at, well, actually, I guess it was probably Friday morning at about midnight. And of course, hotel room, not sleeping well, whatever. Woke up the next morning about 5 o'clock in the morning and started my day. And before I go on with the story, I want to stop and take a minute and say hi to everyone. Looks like we have 29 people here. So we got Ben Crane was the first one in the room. Katie Cowboy, how are you doing? Bill 1717 is here. Rich Powers is here. Floridian, Taticus Legion 78. Roderick, James DeLong, Jeff Tim is here. So thank you to all of you who have joined, and that's not 29 names that I just read off. So I know there are quite a few more of you who just haven't commented. Thanks to everyone who's joined. So anyway, back to the story. Get out of bed, 5 o'clock Thursday morning, get showered, cleaned up, grab a bite of breakfast. And fortunately, the hotel is located in a fabulous place, because from here, it's about a 10-minute, maybe 12-minute walk to the convention center where the NRA annual meeting is taking place. And of course, I didn't know exactly where it was. I had to pull up a map on my phone and follow it the rest of the way there. Convention center is beautiful, great facility here in Dallas. It is huge. The signs say it's 14 acres. I have no reason to doubt that. It is gigantic. The NRA annual meeting is always gigantic. I've never been to the SHOT Show, but my understanding is the SHOT Show is bigger, which is kind of mind-boggling. But I think there are more vendors at the SHOT Show that are not necessarily really firearms and ammunition related. I think there are more people that have RVs and whatever, things like that, camping supplies and one thing and another, that are at the SHOT Show that are not at the NRA annual meeting. This is all firearms and ammunition and optics and holsters and basically every kind of accessory you can imagine has a manufacturer that is represented here. So I go wandering over there to the exhibition or the convention center, and I got there about 8:30. The doors to the exhibits don't open until 9 o'clock. So I'm standing out there, and I look over. Standing next to me is a gentleman wearing a U.S. Army Airborne hat, and he looks at me and goes, "Don't I know you?" And I said, I don't know, maybe. Oh, by the way, when I look at my image on the screen, I can see that there's a glare from the iPad that's sort of occluding my eyes on my reading glasses. Sorry about that. I tried moving it around and changing the angle, and it just didn't do anything. So I apologize if it looks like I'm whatever, not looking at you, or you can't see me or whatever. It's just because of that glare. But anyway, I ended up having a great talk with that gentleman. He's about the same age as I am. He was in Army Airborne about the same time I was in the Marine Corps. We were shooting the breeze about the old days in the military. He was from Fort Worth, or is from Fort Worth. So he had a fairly short drive over here. If I didn't say it, his name is Richard. So Richard, if you see this, hi, thanks, great conversation. But he's somebody who had seen the videos. The exhibit hall finally opened at 9 o'clock, and I walked in, and I was more or less in front of the Colt display when I walked through the doors. And I walked over and I took that first short video of the Colt rifles, and I turned around. Now, I've been in the exhibit hall for, I don't know, 5 minutes maybe. And there's a gentleman standing there named Mark, and he recognized me. And he says, "Hey, watch your videos all the time." Shook my hand, really like them. And it turns out he works for a company, or I think he owns the company that manufactures, what you call it, the competitor for the M14 rifle back in the early 19 or the late 1950s, the FAL company that makes FAL clones. And so I'm talking to him, and hopefully I can connect with him and get one of his rifles in the near future for a review, which would be fantastic. And the thing that I love about coming to the NRA annual meeting is the contacts that I make. And I remember the first meeting I ever went to, it was in 2011. It was in Pittsburgh. And when I walked in, it was the first one I'd ever been to. And I was just almost in awe. I was like, wow. And I'm walking to like every single booth, and I'm getting every piece of literature that I can get, and looking at all the displays and everything else. And it was kind of overwhelming. At this point now, I've been to, I'm not sure just quite how many, probably 7 or 8. I'd have to stop and actually count my way through. But I'm a lot more focused when I'm going through now than I was that very first time. So I'm really zeroing in on, I guess, the manufacturers that I'm familiar with, and in some instances that I have contacts with, like SDS Imports, where I can talk to them and they know me, and we can exchange information. But I'm talking to them, and I still keep my eye out. I really like looking for these smaller companies, smaller manufacturers, a lot of times that are just getting started, and sort of connecting with them. I was walking by one of the displays. It was a kind of a modest display, not real gigantic. And there was a gentleman standing there, and they had kits for like survival food and supplies and equipment and things like that. And I started talking to this guy, and he said, we're a veteran-owned company. And I said, what are you a veteran from? He was a jarhead, and I should have known it. There's just something about Marines you can just tell. And he's telling me about his company, and we really kind of hit it off. We exchanged cards, and I want to contact him very shortly or very early next week and see about getting some of the products in. Now, I am not really a survival-oriented channel or something like that, but still, if I can get some of his products in and I can get the word out, and for all of you that might be interested, and anyone else on YouTube that might be interested in this, I think that's fantastic. I love, love, love helping out these small companies, and the fact that it's owned by a Marine does not hurt one bit. But I just so enjoy that, because I've said this in the past. The Smith and Wessons, the whoever, FNs, all these huge companies, they don't need me. They've got the likes of Jerry Michalik or whoever. But the small companies that don't have a gigantic advertising budget, and I don't charge anything for my videos, so it's not like they're going to have to fork over however much to me for a review. I really like helping these folks out, trying to get the word out on their product, if I think they're good products. And if I don't, then I'll tell you in the video that I don't think they are. But that's always very gratifying to me, whether it's SSP eyewear or IsoTunes hearing protection or whoever, these smaller, in some instances, family-owned companies or whatever. I like that. It's a very personal relationship I'm not sure what the word is to use, but it's a very personal thing back and forth with them, to be able to work with them, because I call them up and I'm talking to Jared, or I'm talking to Topher, or I'm talking to Mike, or whoever at these companies, and it's such a nice personal interaction, as opposed to going through the corporate media person or whoever that may or may not have time to talk to me or whatever. So I like that, and I like getting that information out to all of you. And I apologize for ignoring your comments. I'm going to scroll back down now. And as always, if I miss your comment, I apologize, but I get to rambling on like this, and I just don't pay as much attention to the comments probably as I should. Terry Barnes, did you see President Trump? No, I didn't. He was here, but I opted to stay in the exhibit hall and keep working my way through there rather than going over to watch him. I would love to have seen him. I hope to be able to watch his presentation, hopefully on YouTube later on tonight. But his speech was going to be, I think, at 2:00, and people were going to start lining up at 11:00. And I knew that if I was going to do that, I was going to sacrifice basically the rest of the day from 11:00 on to be able to make contacts with people in the exhibit hall. So I decided to stay there and then watch his speech later on. So if any of you saw it, I hope it was good. I really want to watch it, but that was why I didn't see him. Just go to the optics vendors and use LR to check the floor space. By the way, optics are amazing. And I was talking to several optics vendors today. And as a longtime tactical team sniper who used just a standard loopholed 4.5 to 14 power scope, to see what they're doing with optics nowadays is mind-boggling. Optics that have built-in thermal imaging, rangefinders, and video. So you can video what you're seeing through the scope. I used to always say, nobody sees what the sniper sees but the sniper. And now that's not really true anymore. We're probably not too far from the point where optics are going to be transmitting video real time back to a command post. And the people in the command post are going to be making the decision as to whether or not a shot should be fired, which I can see as being a good thing and a bad thing. You've got the sniper who has done all the work and done everything to get into position and everything else, and is watching the situation and sees what that individual is seeing, and is now going to have to wait until somebody back in the command post says, okay, take the shot. And then at that instant, have to take the shot. Now, to a degree, maybe that absolves the sniper from some liability. Maybe, although historically saying I was just following orders has not been a tremendously good or effective defense. On the other hand, having that built-in delay and hoping that the situation doesn't change in the time that it takes for somebody at the command post to make a decision and say, take the shot, that could have disastrous repercussions. So I don't know what I think about that, but it's just, again, the advancements in optics is mind-boggling. Cal Tipper here from Geismar, Louisiana. Thanks for joining. Roderick was in the Navy in 1972. Well, thank you for joining, Roderick. I appreciate you being here, and thank you for your service in the Navy. Marvin Turner is here. Thanks for joining, Marv. Chris 1911 is here. Dan the Wolfman, thanks for joining, Dan. Chase Kelly, yes, I am enjoying the show. RP Tactical is here. Thanks for joining. Marines not go anywhere without the Navy. Well, sometimes we do, but they're usually places we shouldn't go in the first place. Dan the Wolfman, 12-hour shifts in a car, protected and security work. Should I eat one of my EMG cans of ravioli? Yeah, you're probably okay with that if it's been in the as long as the can is sealed. I don't think you'll be too bad or too badly off. Rabbi, thanks for joining. When do the girls get here? No girls in my room, damn it. Rabbi's trying to get me in trouble ever since I posted the video of the cowgirl with the lever action rifle earlier today. Roderick, keep it on the family channel. Greg Shearer, I'm late. How long have you been all been going? Just really getting started good. Roughly 20 minutes since I kicked things off. Dan the Wolfman be doing a lot of Stoger and Taurus in the upcoming year. Was hoping to get with SDS. Oh, by the way, I talked to the folks from SDS today, and part of the reason that they've been so slow getting things out is they are revamping their system for getting sample guns out for review. So it sounds like this is a computer software issue that they're trying to get all straightened out. So hopefully that will be done fairly soon, and they'll be getting those firearms back out again. Ben Crane, will there be more content with Rachel from the Henry? But I'm not sure if it was you that posted that or who it was that said something about, is her name Rachel? And I just started laughing when I saw that. I thought that was so funny. So no, I did not ask that young lady her name. I did not even get within arm's length because too many bad things can happen. Did you run into any of the psych sign holders? No, I didn't. Didn't see any. Shockingly, no protesters anywhere in the area of the NRA annual meeting. Amazing. Did you run into any of the other guys running the YouTube channels? Hickok 45 said, yeah, I did. I saw Such yesterday. We had a great conversation. I've talked to him before, and it was kind of funny because I was talking to somebody else, and I finished that conversation and I went to sit down, and I saw this hand come in from the side, and I looked over and it's Such. He goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And he shakes my hand, and we were talking back and forth and kind of swapping stories of YouTube and this and that. But I probably talked to him for, I don't know, 15 minutes, something like that. And he's always been very personable. I've talked to him in the past, great individual to talk to. So I enjoyed talking to Such. I was standing next to Tim from the Military Arms Channel yesterday, and I wanted to take a moment to ask him a question, but he was really wrapped up in a conversation with somebody he was talking to, and then they sort of walked away, and I didn't want to chase along behind him. Like, hey, can I? No, I didn't want to do that. But saw him. I was walking down one of the aisles today, and I was looking at something over here, and I heard somebody off to my right say, "And that guy's a Marine. Watch him." And I looked over, and it's Hickok 45, who I've also talked to before, and shook his hand. And Hickok, when you talk to him in person, is just like he is in a video. So you start talking to him, and it just kind of goes on and on and on. And there were other people that were waiting behind that wanted to come up and get their picture taken with him and stuff. So I really had to sort of get myself out of the way so they could do their thing. But he was in the Sonoran Desert Institute booth when I saw him. But always great to talk to Hickok. Hickok, if you see the live stream, thanks. Great conversation. Wish you all the best. I saw him. I saw Hop from the Firearms blog. Didn't talk to him, but I just saw him walking by. I saw gentleman 704 Tactical. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I just saw him. He was in the area. And I'm trying to think if I saw anybody else from the YouTube world. That's everybody that I remember off the top of my head. And I think the only ones I talked to were Hickok and Such. But I saw a ton of you guys. I think I had more people come up to me in this annual meeting and say, "Hey, I recognize you. shake my hand and want to get a picture taken. It's always funny to me because I'm just Howard. I'm just HR, and for people that get all excited about wanting to be seen with me and get a picture taken or have me sign something or whatever, it's fun, but it's I guess kind of mind blowing to me because I don't think of myself as anybody that somebody would want to get a picture with or want to get an autograph from or whatever. But it's always fabulous. I had so many people come up and shake my hand and talk to me and say they watch the videos, they like the videos, and people in the exhibit booth, people from the various manufacturers. I talked to a young guy from Traditions, the company that manufactures, or I guess is known for black powder firearms, but they have other cartridge firing arms as well. Nice young guy talking to me. He's seen the video, says he's a fan. I was talking to the guy from the IWI booth, another nice young guy. He's seen the videos. So I'm talking to more and more people who are actually in the firearms industry that are familiar with the channel. So that's nice too, because we can make a connection. I pass out a business card and, I can talk to them, and sometimes try to get products in for review in the future and get that information out to all of you. The guys that I made the video on with the sling from McLean Corporation, a couple of nice guys. Oh shoot, I'm trying to think of the guy's name who's the owner of the company. I talked to him. I want to say Neil. If it's the wrong name, please forgive me. I apologize. But he's a military veteran. The young guy that was with him, Tony, nice young guy, funny guy. We struck off a conversation. I did the little video with him. I bought one of the slings just because I like the guys. I like the guys. I like the product, and it's something I want to get out to all of you. So again, just small manufacturers. That's just fun. And now back to the comments. Target 725, the Colt Viper is the best of show for me so far. I don't think I saw that. I might have to look into that. HR Funk, years ago, we gained the technology to allow the U.S. president to watch through the eyes and ears of a squad at the bleeding edge. God help the poor grunt. Yeah, I know. And that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Sean Zimmerman is here. Thanks for joining, Sean. Vincent P, can you check out the new classic government from Alchemy Custom? You know what? I was looking for Alchemy arms while I was walking through their Alchemy Custom, either one, and I did not see them anywhere. So I don't know if I just missed them or if they, for some reason, couldn't make it, but I didn't see them or Cabot firearms. Big Shugs saw there were more than usual this year, chanting outside about freedom, giving up freedoms. I didn't see them. Maybe they were there, but I never saw them. Hootie Hoo is here. Thanks for joining. My dad was Navy during World War II. All those guys in World War II, your dad included, part of the greatest generation. When you look at what they did and you think of who they really were at the time, young kids that went out and literally saved the world. What more can you say about the greatest generation? She was a cutie. She was a cutie. Oh man. Of course, when I was that age, that she was also one of the ones that would never get within way long reach of me. So, and I can't really blame her because like most young males, I was somebody she should not get anywhere near. Bye, Felicia says, evening, sir. Hope all is well at Blitzer Funk. All is very well. It's been a great weekend. Busy, somewhat exhausting. I'm probably going to collapse into bed again tonight, but all in all, it's been a great weekend. Mark Becker, I'm looking at those Turkish M4 shotguns. I really like the Mac 1014 that I got. And I was talking to the guys from SDS. I was talking to Jared from SDS, and he was saying he has run his through all kinds of training courses and just shot the daylights out of it. And just now is getting around to changing some gas seals and one thing and another. So uh, I think they're fantastic. Well, maybe I should back off a step or two. I think the SDS shotguns are great firearms. I can't speak for any of the other ones. Katie Cowboy, hopefully you can do some SAR reviews like the SAR 9C Gen 3. I talked to the folks at SAR booth, and I can't really say that they were really keen on the idea of sending me out firearms for review. I just didn't get that vibe or that connection with them. But that doesn't mean I won't review one, because if House of Pain can get one in, I could potentially borrow one from them and still get it in for a review. So keep your fingers crossed. I'll see what I can do with a SAR. Hootie Hoo, I think Trump was there today. He was here today. He was in the, I think they call it not Exhibit Hall A, but something like that. He was in there, and that was all locked down by the Secret Service. So he was definitely here. How's the weather? It said it was the best all over East Texas. Weather here has been great. When I got in Thursday night, Friday morning, it was really sticky. I think it had been raining on Thursday, but I woke up yesterday. Yesterday was gorgeous. Sun shining, probably in the low 70s most of the day. Just an absolutely beautiful day. Today it was pretty much the same when I walked over to the convention center. By the time I got out at 4 o'clock, it had warmed up. It was probably in the high 80s or low 90s. So a little bit warmer, but still very nice out. Weather's been great. Gunmetal Guy USA, welcome aboard. Roderick, he is 6'8". I'm not sure who you're talking about, unless it's Hickok 45. He is definitely tall. And our Hickok 45 for NRA president. Did Private Chewie get to tag along? No. Private Chewie is home with Miss Mimi, and she was telling me today she took him for a walk, and he was being his usual rambunctious self, but she managed to keep him under control. So I'll have to get back there and see if I can continue his training in the near future here. Rabbi chatted with Hickok once before he was famous. Very polite. Yeah, very nice guy. Really, really nice to talk to. And again, he was asking me, how's the channel going and what's happening and this and that, and giving me a couple of suggestions. So that's always nice. I really appreciate that from him and Such both. Dan the Wolfman, for an acro pattern Gideon closed emitter, am I going to have to get some aftermarket mounting plate? Acro isn't I don't know. I saw the gentleman from Gideon Optics. He actually walked past me before they let us in yesterday, before they opened the exhibit hall. But I don't think I ever saw the Gideon Optics display anywhere. So I apparently missed that one. And I can't answer your question. I'm sorry. Yes, and I really appreciate Hootie Hoo being here, Ben. So I do indeed. By the way, I believe Hickok and Such are at a dinner this evening, so they're probably indisposed at the moment. Any new handguns no one knew about was the new P10C on display. I did not see a new P10C. New from SDS. I did the short video on that 9mm 38 Super 1911 pistol that they're going to be putting out, which is really cool because I'm a fan of 38 Super. I like that cartridge, but the ability to swap out a different magazine and a different barrel and be able to run 9mm ammunition if you either don't have the 38 Super or you don't feel like running it because it's a little more expensive and you want to use cheap 9mm. I thought that was a cool idea. What other new Rock Island Armory has a new version of their 5.0 that they've changed a few things design wise, and the ones that they had here had a camo pattern. And I just got to tell you, I'm a sucker for camo patterns. I actually saw a what you call it, the ones they build in Mansfield, Ohio, High Point. They had High Point had their display, and usually I'm not much on High Points, but they had one of their carbines that was done in a uh, the camo pattern, like the old woodland pattern from when I was in the Marine Corps. And that caught my eye, and I'm like, that looks really cool. And I ended up talking to the guy from High Point. Their headquarters is in Dayton, Ohio, so not too terribly far from me. I got his card. I'm going to contact him, and if I can get one of those carbines in, I really want to give that thing a try. I just thought it was cool. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see if I can pull that off. Mr. Guns and Gear? No, I did not see Mr. Guns and Gear. Tactics Legion 78. I know you won't care for them, but I want one of those new Glock 17L Gen 5s to paint into a Boba Fett pistol. Well, I hope you get one. Cabot is across from Glock. I walked past the Glock booth a couple of times. Apparently, I just missed them. Did you stop by the Glock? I did stop by the Glock booth. In fact, I did a short video on a Glock 20 10 millimeter. So that's up. The Glocks all pretty much look like all the other Glocks, but I did stop and at least look at them. Oh, and that new one from Valter. Valter had a couple of new ones. They had the PPK and the PPKS chambered in 32 ACP, so they've brought that back again, which I think is cool. And they also had a new version of the WMP, the 22 Magnum semi-auto that they build, which might be something to be kind of cool to try out, a semi-auto 22 Magnum. So who knows? We'll see what happens if I can pull off anything with that one too. I got their media person's information. So that's one big company. Go through the media people, keep your fingers crossed, hope for the best, and we'll see what happens. Rabbi, what was the price point of those MP5 clones? I think the MSRP is something like $1,099. They're probably going to sticker on the street for sub $1,000. I am dying to get one of those things. The ones they had on display here, and I actually like the bigger one a little bit more than the K model. But it really harkens back to those 1960s era MP5s, the super cool ones from the early days. And I really want one of those things. So we'll see what happens with that. Anything special about them, like original tooling? As I understand it, SDS is sourcing them through a company in Turkey that actually manufactured parts for H&K. So the quality of these firearms should be pretty comparable to an H&K, but for a lot less money. Ben Crane, I shot the Canik Rival steel frame today. It goes without saying, it's fantastic. You're going to be seeing my Rival, which is not a steel frame, coming up next Wednesday. I've got a new Canik pistol that's coming up in the video review that'll go live on Wednesday. I hope you all like it, and I'm not going to give you too much more than that. It's a teaser. But anytime I'm shooting a Canik or anytime I'm reviewing a Canik, it's a good time. So I hope you all enjoy that video when it goes live. Roy Kiefer, glad you joined, Roy. I sent out a video notice probably an hour and a half ago, so I'm sorry you didn't get the word on that. Daniel, I'm going to butcher your last name. I'm sorry. DiMichele? SAR is funny. I don't think they send any guns out for review. My take is the new Gen 3 compact is great. The subcompact is a disaster. And some companies are like that. Excuse me while I get something to drink. I'm losing my voice. If they don't really need the publicity, if they're selling things basically as fast as they can manufacture it, they don't send things out for review because they don't have to. I talked to the folks at Bond Arms today, and Bond Arms is just one of those fun companies with the Derringers. It's not a Derringer, it's a single shot break open handgun that's chambered for a 45-70. Can you imagine that? I mean, it's this little tiny handgun. Now, it was hefty, it's got some weight to it, but can you imagine shooting a 45-70 out of something like that? But they had that. They had all their little tip-up derringers and all that. And they've also got that 9mm bullpup. And the first time I ever saw that was 3 or 4 years ago at the NRA annual meeting. I don't remember which one it was. Might have been the one in Indianapolis. I'm not sure. But it's cool because it's different. And I would love to get one of those for a review. They're kind of pricey. They're, I want to say, somewhere around $800, give or take. So I asked them about the possibility of getting one for a review, and they said, we sell these things as fast as we build them, that they almost can't build them fast enough. So they don't need to send any out because they don't really need the publicity. So I probably won't be getting one of those, at least not from them. But if I see one and I have the spare cash, I might try to pick it up because it's just a cool little firearm. In that same line, I talked to the folks from C Camp today. And C Camp is a firearm that I remember from way back in the day. And they used to be they were known for being the tiniest semi-auto you could buy. And still, they're probably in the running for that, especially their 32 ACP version. But they were hand built back in the day, and you had to special order them, and there was a waiting list that was insane. It was like a 2-year wait or something like that to have one manufactured. Well, nowadays, they're not making them by hand anymore. They're CNC manufacturing them. They're getting them out a lot faster. And I was talking to them, and I was talking about getting a his and hers C Camp for me and Mimi, because they come in different colors now. You can get the stainless, or you can get like OD green or something like that, or this kind of light blue snazzy looking thing she might like. So who knows? Maybe you'll see a C Camp coming up to, sometime in the future. Rich Key, thanks for joining. Good evening to you. James Vatter, Chewy should be a Lance Corporal. No, he's not. No, private. He might even get busted back to recruit. They used to talk about in boot camp, I'm going to recycle you so far back, your recruiter is going to be looking for you in high school. That might happen to Chewy. His recruiter will be looking for him at the kennel. And I'm zooming through here. Some of you guys are talking to each other. What was for dinner? You know what? I walked to a place about a block away called Wild Salsa. And their salsa was pretty wild. They brought me a bowl of chips and their salsa, and it's a green salsa. Normally, I like the red salsa, the tomato-based salsa, and I don't like avocados. This was absolutely an avocado-based salsa, but I could taste the cilantro in it. I think it had jalapenos ground up in it. I don't even know what all was in there, but it was really, really good. And then I got some enchiladas to go along with that, and that came with refried beans and a rice. But again, the rice had some sort of green. I'm assuming it was the same type of thing that was on the salsa, the avocado and the cilantro and all that. And the rice was really good. So fantastic meal. And I washed it all down with a Negro Modelo. So had a Mexican beer to go along with everything else. Sean Zimmerman, do the cheap Turkish AR-12 lower, an SR-308 lower. You're losing me with that comment or that question, Sean. I'm sorry. I'm not understanding what you're asking. Big Shug. Totally agree. A bad habit of browsing Safari Precision just for a possible camo. I can't live without. Yep. Ben Crane, haven't seen it yet. Got a new production Marlin 44 and 357 in. Cool. That's great. Jeeps Cafe, was Tezos there? Do they have any new firearms? Yeah, when you hear me talk about SDS Imports, that's the company that brings in Tezos, and they bring in Military Armament Corporation, and they bring in now Inglis. I was looking at their Inglis high power pistols, which look really cool. I was looking at what else do they have? They have Spandau shotguns. They have Tokarev shotguns, and there might be one or two others that I'm forgetting right now. But whenever you hear me talk about SDS, that's that whole family of firearms that they bring in. Lance Criminal. Yes, that's Chewy. We'll let Wagtech. Lots of sirens. Don't answer the knock. It's got to be firemen. They're the only ones that make that much noise. Did they give you butterfly kisses at the Glock booth? No, they kicked me out of there. Marvin Turner had a Walther PP and 32 ACP years ago. Wish he still had it. Yeah, I wish he still had it too. Classic firearm. Russ Michael, talking to KD Cowboy. Okay. Bye, Felicia. You're my favorite content creators. Don't sell yourself short. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Michael Davis, HR, love your channel. Went back into the archives when your CZ75 Omega. Decided to go ahead and get one. Really love it. Thanks for the good, honest reviews. You're welcome. And I was just looking at the CZ booth. I guess I was there yesterday, and still I'm drawn to the 75 pattern handguns, and they have a lot of other cool firearms. I was also looking at they've got a what's the 22 they're building now, the 457. They had one of those all decked out in a chassis type stock, and everything else had a fabulous trigger. But they've got a lot of great handguns. But the 75s and the variants of the 75 are definitely way up there. Rabbi, what's the best swag you've gotten? Do you ever collect some years at the conference? I want everything. Most years I want nothing. I didn't get much this year. Most of the stuff, just little things. The biggest things I'm getting this year are business cards from these people that I'm making contact with. I got a hat from Olight. They passed those out last night, and a couple of other little trinkets. In fact, I should go over there and look at that. I think they gave us all another little flashlight, so that's kind of cool. By the way, if you guys didn't see the Olight O-Sight review, and you're interested at all in handgun red dot optics, go back and take a look at that, because I was really pretty favorably impressed by that thing. It's got a lot going for it. For a brand new product just being launched by a company that hasn't made a red dot optic before, I thought it was pretty cool. I got a couple of comments coming in from some of the viewers of the video talking about they didn't know how durable it was going to be or whatever. So I was talking to the folks at Olight again today. I want to try to get another one in, and I'll do some quote unquote torture testing with the one I have, but I don't want to destroy the thing and then not have one. So I'm going to be in contact with the person at Olight that I go through probably on Monday and see if I can get another one in. And I'll take the existing one that I have already and do something with it. I'll throw it up in the air and have it land on concrete, or throw it in a swimming pool or something like that. And we'll see what happens to it. But I really don't think durability is going to be an issue with that thing. But just for the sake of a video and to put people's mind at ease, I'm going to try to do something like that. Katie Cowboy shot my ZPAP M70 for the first time the other day. Can't believe how short the stock is on it. I remember you talking about that. I saw a comment, or did you send me an email? Somehow or other, I knew about that. I think my uncle tried to unalive himself with a 25 C cam. All right. I don't think the C camps were ever made in 25. I think they were 32 for the longest time, and then they came out with a 380 version at some point. Does Chewie have a prostate issue getting up early to pee? He must. That's all I can tell you. Roja salsa equals picante el gringo. Okay, guilty as charged. Rabbi, so other than videoing the cowgirl with the lever action, doing any other gambling? No, I only gamble with my life, never with my money. Some of you that have seen The Mummy might recognize that line. Okay, Sean Zimmerman, I was wondering if the Turkish AR-12 shotguns are SR-308 lowered. If they're compatible with putting a 308 and a 6.5 creep-bore upper, etc., or if they're just shotgun uppers like cheap AR-22s. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that. I wish I could give it to you, but I just don't know. Mark Becker, surprised your wife didn't go with you. Yeah, I wish she could have. And she had another obligation. In fact, there was a wedding that she was going to be part of. She had to do something in the wedding ceremony, so she couldn't make it. Otherwise, she would probably be here with me. Marvin Turner, the O-Sight was neat. Neat built. I prefer the Siley Wolf you reviewed. The nice thing about the O-Sight is the rechargeability aspect of it. The Siley, the nice thing about that is, first off, it's very inexpensive. It's very cost effective. And particularly that green reticle version that I have is so clear for my eyes to be able to see. Whereas the O-Sight has a green reticle. The one that I have is red, but they also currently don't offer the circle dot like the Wolf reticle that I have. Now, my understanding from the folks at O-Sight is somewhere around the end of the year, beginning of 2025, somewhere in that neighborhood, they are going to come out with a multi-reticle system. At least that's what they're aiming for. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's kind of it all depends on exactly what you want, I guess, in your optic. Justin, hi HR. Thanks for giving us a sneak peek at the new goodies from this year. You're welcome, and thanks to everybody who's been watching the shorts. I hope you enjoy them. I'm just kind of going from booth to booth, and when I see something that catches my eye that I like, I've been doing those quick 30-second, 45-second videos. For whatever reason, nobody has sent me any money to be able to buy that Cimarron revolver yet, so I'm disappointed in all of you, but that was pretty, that Texas Ranger commemorative. Big Shug, where's the DS 1911s and 45 ACP that isn't $5,000 or more or imported? I guess Platypus Platypus works. Yeah, I don't think I saw any 45 double stacks. Wagtech, a fella can't have too many flashlights or pew pew optics either. Chewie's actually a pit bull with long hair. I don't know about that. Any word on company releasing an SVD clone? Not that I saw here this weekend or the last couple of days. Michael Davis, saw your video on the Olight red dot. Really neat concept. You seem to like it pretty good yourself. You're a bad influence. I get that a lot. If you do get one, let me know what you think of it. And the nice thing is I can relay that feedback directly to Olate through the person that I go through. So any information I get, I can send to them, and anything I get from them, I can put out to all of you. Mr. Goldenrod, O-site is $160. It is for the, I can't remember right off the top of my head how long the special goes for. But right now they're $160 for the red one. The green one is like 180 something. And then when the initial offer ends, the red one goes to 199 and the green one goes to 229. So if you're interested in one and you want to get the best price you can, get it in now, because the price is going to go up here in the very near future. Katie Cowboy ordered one of the green O-sites. I saw that. So let me know what you think of when you get it. Roy Kiefer, any new revolvers? Yes, as a matter of fact. I saw some at I believe it was the Rock Island Armory booth. They kind of sort of resembled, well, the longer ones kind of sort of resembled a Smith & Wesson 686. I was not overly impressed by the trigger action, the double action pull on them. And then they had a smaller one that kind of resembled a Colt Detective Special. It was a 6-shot 38 Special. And again, just wasn't real crazy about the trigger on that. I saw some Manhurin, what are they, MR73s, and those things have a double action trigger that's just amazing. They're not new, but they are pretty pricey. What other wheel guns did I see? Looked at the Charter Arms revolvers on the way by there, and I like their little revolvers. I think they're pretty neat. Did you guys see the video on the North American Arms mini revolver, the one that's in the OD green with the matte black cylinder? I am really hoping to get one of those because I just thought that was really cool. Chamber for the 22 Magnum. It has it's a longer barrel. It's probably a 3 or maybe 3.5-inch barrel, something like that. But I talked to the young lady there who's their media representative. We exchange cards, and if I can get one of those in, I think it would be a fun review. And I think there'd be some practicality there for people that need a really small firearm to be able to conceal. So keep your fingers crossed for that one. Marv Turner, the Baltic reticle comes out, be more interested. Yeah, they mentioned that last night at the launch event that that's something they're going to be looking at in the near future. Jeff Tim, sorry didn't win the lotto last night. I'm sorry too, Jeff. Justin, really like the look of these new MP5K clones. Wonder if it would be worth the process of an NFA. Well, that's if I can get one, I'm probably going to put a brace on it to begin with, and we'll see what happens with this whole brace nonsense. If I have to, I'll go the NFA route with it because I really want some sort of a stock on the thing, but we'll see. And whenever I can get one of those, you guys are going to see it on the channel. Ben Crane, sleep well. Thanks for joining tonight. Marv Turner, Platypus is going to release the 45 ACP DS in late June or early July. Okay. And I didn't know that. And Rabbi donated $1.99 for my Cimarron revolver. Thank you, Rabbi. I'm now $1.99 closer to owning one of those things. $19.99 for the lap dance for the cowgirl. Oh my. You're probably going to have to send more than that because it's going to cost me a lot more in the divorce. Katie Cowboy, tell a light to make a smaller optic. The O site is too big for carry. One of the things they were talking about is they were trying to miniaturize that as much as they could to be able to have a rechargeable battery. And the original thought was to be able to not have a separate charger, be able to plug something right into the optic. But because of the size, that was going to make it too big. So they went this route with the separate charger that you can install on top of the thing. And I'm sure as time goes on and technology improves, everything is miniaturized more and more and more. So that might get smaller in the future. And I'm just zooming through the comments right now. Katie Cowboy was going to get a, oops, it just jumped. Was going to get a new barrel for your Hellcat Pro and compensator. Do compensators do much with respect to reducing muzzle rise? It's so dependent on the firearm and the type of ammunition that you're using. In general terms, you get the most efficiency from compensators with the highest pressure ammunition because it's producing the greatest volume of gas to help counteract muzzle rise on your firearm. So if you're shooting relatively light loads, you're probably not going to notice much in the way of muzzle rise reduction from the compensator because there's just not that much gas directing the muzzle down. If you're shooting high pressure loads or high power loads, um, if you would shoot it without the compensator and with the compensator, you're probably going to notice the most difference then. So I hope that makes sense. Without further ado, did you see the, I don't know how to pronounce that, Eleged Green Vulcan Enclosed 507 Holosun? Uh, I saw an enclosed 507 Holosun. I'm not sure if it's the one you're referring to, but I did see some of those with the enclosed emitters. I was looking at those today. My North American Arms Sidewinder fits an eyeglasses case. They are cool little revolvers. Mark Villalen, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is that a tiger stripe print on your shirt? Love it. Yeah, it is. This is a desert tiger stripe camo. This is actually, I found this on the clearance rack at an Eddie Bauer store back around Christmas time. And I thought, that's cool. I want that shirt. So it's been hanging in a closet for the last however many months and I've got warm enough to wear the thing. But I really like it. Justin, would you rather have an MP5 version of the MP5 version or the MP5K? I can't decide. I like the full size, quote unquote, full size MP5 for my purposes. Nothing wrong with the 5K, but I just like the slightly larger one. Justin, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. And Rabbi, too, all joking aside, thank you, thank you, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that greatly. Dan the Wolfman, tell Light to send me a green O-sight. I need a micro dot to try on my GX carry. If you contact them, if you go through their media folks, they might send you one. Wonder how it ever got to the clearance route. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I just lucked out. That people ask me periodically about my clothes, which I always think is funny because I am nobody's idea of a fashion plate. But usually the stuff I find either comes from Duluth Trading Company or I find it on the clearance rack of some store someplace that everybody else thought was ridiculous and they didn't buy or whatever. am always keeping an eye out for clothes that I think are going to look good in the videos that kind of go along with my, I don't know, persona. Is that a good word? But yeah, I look for the clothes that I like, and when I see them, I try to grab. And there are clothing manufacturers here. So I was talking to some of these folks as well. One of them was called Max Tax, and I actually have a couple of their shirts that I wear in my videos pretty frequently, and I'm hoping to get some more clothes from them because I like the clothes. Rabbi's shocked there's still an Eddie Bauer store. There is one at least in uh, Crocker Park on the west side of Cleveland or west of Cleveland. We go up there periodically on shopping trips. Big Sugar, you're such a brave man gambling on Dallas Spanish food coming down from Ohio on a trip. Wouldn't drink the tap water. I'm not worried. I've been to Korea before. If I survive that, I should survive anything here. Good night to you, Dan. Thanks for joining. Let us know if you're going to have a yard sale. All right. Looks like a lot of people are checking out. What time is it getting to be here? 21:07 is the time on deck here. That makes it 22:07 for all of you in Eastern time. Probably about time to call it a night. Thanks to everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I hope you've enjoyed the shorts that I've been putting out from the show and all the other information. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for all the interaction. To my channel members, a special thank you for the contribution you make. I really, and it's funny, when I was talking to Hickok 45, I told him, he asked me something about the channel, and I said, were it not for my viewers, I would have been gone from YouTube years ago, because dealing with YouTube is such an absolute nightmare. But you guys, all of you, and I say you guys generically because there might be some ladies out here too, but all of you are the ones who make this experience for me. You're the ones that keep me uh, energized. You keep me making the videos. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you get something from them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whatever you get from the videos, I get more from you. So have a great night. Good evening from Dallas, Texas. I hope to see you all on the video premiere coming up on Wednesday in the live chat. And until next time, everyone, good shooting and bye-bye for now.